I bet you didn't expect to click on this video and start blushing. I know you have a crush on me. I know you do. Every time I post a blush video on YouTube, it goes crazy. Okay, I have a round face and I did not expect people wanting to learn blush from me. Like, I always just thought like my blush will make my cheeks look too full, too chubby, like whatever the case may be, but people love it and I love doing it. So I thought that I would bring it onto YouTube for my YouTube community, because you girlies deserve everything. Okay, everything. So in this video I go over multiple tips, multiple products, specifically on how I do it in my face shape, which is a round, more heart face shape. But if you also have other face shapes, that doesn't discount you from watching this video or learning something. But if you want to know how to blush like a pro, like the Painted by Esters and the Makeup by Ariel, which I know you do, continue watching the video because we gonna get you right. I'm gonna get you right every single time. So continue watching the video. So like I said, eyes are on. We're not even done with it yet. We're gonna get to it later. But I already skin prepped and everything, so y'all don't gotta see all that. Yeah, let's get into these products, shall we? What foundation would I like to use? This video is all about the Base Notes Rebel. Y'all already know I haven't put her down since. But if you want to check out my review on this foundation, the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, go ahead and click the link. So foundation is laid and I have a package. This is my first PR package ever, so you guys better watch. I got it from Dibs. I called Dibs on her. So I got the Dibs. So I got the Desert Island. So I got the Desert Island Duo. So I got the Desert Island Duo brush and blonde. Bruh. I got the Desert Island Duo brush and bronzer stick in shade 6, which comes with Plot Twist and Level Up. Two-sided girl. She's two-sided. So I don't feel the need to like go over like the points of this product or like how it should be used. It's a brush or bronzer stick, okay? You're either gonna swipe it on your hand, pick it up with a brush or a beauty blender and go on your face, or you're gonna just take it and swipe it on, okay? Either way, she's gonna be used today. Thank you, Dibs. Because I called Dibs, like. The first step of blush always starts with your bronzer. I don't care what you have to say about it, it's just the truth, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so for me personally, my hand is kind of full and it got glitter and I'm not trying to mess with that. Going in and like swiping my brush all around on the product, you're gonna map out your cheek. Like, of course, when you apply bronze, this looks really good, by the way, because when you map out your cheek, you are gonna want to emphasize the apples. And I don't know about any other face shape other than mine. I have like a round heart face shape, and for me the apples are very important because that's where my cheek is. So of course, like, contour is gonna play a part. It's gonna give you more of a sculpted, like you're gonna like really see the apple. However, the color that you would need to contour is more of a cool, and usually unless you have a cool undertone, you're not gonna really put on blush that is more of a cool tone. So with bronzer, you just kind of want to like give that contoured effect and really map out your face. So far, I really like how this product is laying down. It's not very wet. It's not giving me like Made by Mitchell. Because it's a stick, of course it's not going to be as emollient as those products, but it's not like wet and slippery, and it's giving me like a nice amount of coverage on my cheek. It's not lifting the foundation or anything, and it's giving me kind of like a healthy glow but not being like matte. And I love the color. This is like definitely the color of bronzer that I would go for. I'm loving it, vibes. I knew I called Dibs for a reason. Okay, it's the most exciting part. Now it's finally time to get into blush. I'm going to take the blush side of the Dibs, which is a really stark deep pink. Like, it's really she's bright. I don't recommend going into the product like this. I recommend, like I said, swiping it, or I don't recommend this either, but don't do this is what I'm saying, but I'm gonna do it. This is gonna be the deepest shade of blush that we're gonna use today, and so the placement of that blush would be on the apples of the cheek. And this is because the higher up you go in your eye, the more light you want to go in your blush shade, because this is going to be also like a bright under eye. You don't want to carry like a deep hot pink like under your eye. It's just gonna not look good. The darkest to the lightest, darkest to lightest. I'm gonna go right in on the apples of the cheek. Where you at? Come on now. She's giving natural. I'm gonna pick up a lot. You see me circling like a shark? I'm gonna turn my head and you see the apple on my cheek. Bronzer is very important because now we're going to blend that blush in with the bronzer. because you want a nice ombre to kind of just blend everything together. And I'm not going to drag this too far out. I'm just going to keep it at the end of the eyebrow. Next, I'm going to take my ColourPop stick. You know her. You saw her in my last video. Yeah, I'm placing that. I'm kind of mixing it together almost, but I'm placing it like literally right here. Not all the way up yet, but like really over that. I feel like this is the same shade, low-key. So you see here, it's like skin and then blush. That is a little too much product for you to get like a nice gradient going on, because you don't want it to like mix in with concealer and then it's just like too much. I'm gonna take a Q-tip and kind of erase some of that product. And again, we didn't have like a lot of space to work with, so I'm also taking more product than I would off usually. And I'm going back in with no extra product and kind of ombreing that. See how that looks better? It's not like a glunk of product. So we started off with bronzer. Our cheek is sculpted. We started with a deep blush shade. Our apples are emphasized. Now we're working with the ombre. Our colors are getting lighter and lighter. This is the love of my life. This is the Color Case Collective by Made by Mitchell. We're gonna take this one and this one. So with the lightest blush shade, I personally like to go a little more cool tone. I don't know why, because my concealer is always very warm, but the cool toneness of the blush when it's the lightest shade is gonna give it a more baby pink-esque kind of look. It gets pinker and redder and berrier, and you know what I mean? So you kind of want to balance it out by adding a little bit of baby pink, which just happens to be like a little bit of cool tone shade. And also, like, if you're doing like a white under eye, or if you're lighter skin tone and you're going in with like a very bright under eye, it's going to blend in even more seamlessly. So maybe I should try like not, but I like it. So I'm doing that right under the eye at this point. Just go under there. Ah, this is not what I needed today. It's not working. Okay, this is working. You see how that like just like kind of took it up a notch? Okay, so that Desert Island blush is not doing it for me. Like, my cheeks don't look as defined, and this okay. This is the perfect like learning moment. When you don't ombre your blushes, it's gonna look weird. Like, my face is kind of just like blush. Like, it's kind of like not defined. Even with bronzer, you can kind of see like what's supposed to be happening, but you don't want just like a face, you don't want like a wall full of pink. Okay, so I want to take a deeper blush than the dual stick is giving me. It's gonna be in the regular code case. It's so good. She's so perfect. She got me blushing, like blending it in with the bronzer. I might need a little more bronzer. First, I'm gonna take my Lancome concealer. We're gonna place this kind of literally over the blush, and you want it to go underneath your eye. Of course, it's concealer. You're gonna put it like kind of where you want your ombre to start. So this is gonna be the deepest tone of concealer we set down, because again, deep first and then blend upwards the more you get light. So I'm going to blend this in, but I'm going to be super like pressing it in, because I don't want to take this anywhere it doesn't need to be. So if anything, I'm pressing kind of like upwards, because I want it to go up underneath my eye and not drag and cover all that work we did with the ombre with the blush. Okay, I'll do it one more time for you. One more time. I have like a square. I didn't place it in the square on purpose. I just placed it. This half of the square, you're going to blend in place. So you're going to blend in with the brush, but then this half of the square, you're going to blend upwards towards, so you can get some coverage under the eye. So this half blended with the blush, and now you're going to take this half and blend it upwards, and then of course the bridge of the nose, press it in. Now we're not going to use the brush that we used for the first concealer lay down. We are going to use a smaller brush for that. For your concealer, you're going to want to keep as much control as possible, and that's why I'm using like a denser brush for this. So connect that under eye, connect that bridge of the nose, and keep that as condensed as possible. I like to go in with my foundation brush and kind of just tap that out to make sure everything blends together. Of course, a beauty blender would be ideal, but I don't like beauty blenders. And if you do, because y'all saw me do it last time, I'm gonna do it again because it was just too good. It was just too good. I'm gonna spray this, let it set, and then I'll come back when I'm ready for powder blushes. Yes, the salsa. Okay, y'all, so the powder situation doesn't just start with like pressed blushes, it starts with loose powders. This is the One Size Loose Setting Powder in Ultra Pink. Cherry Blossom has nothing on this because it's just not as pink as I need it to be. This product and this step is probably one of the most important steps, and it's not necessarily the bake itself, it's more of what the powder does. So because our concealers are essentially yellow and like very warm, you can't expect it to just blend into the blush all naturally and have it just like really melt and give that ombre under eye blush effect that we really want. And this, in a way, tones down that warmthness. It tones down that yellowness that the concealer gives, and it's just gonna give it more pink. It's gonna give it more life, and it's gonna make the ombre that much more smooth and gradient. This also gives us a chance to set all those cream blushes that we place down, which can get a lot and very like wet and slippery. So this gives us a chance to set it down without taking away any of that color. So we got the brows on, looking peculiar. I'm sorry. The brows got me feeling different anyways. I'm gonna go in with my curve case pressed, and I'm going to go in with the color we always go into. This is Cowlick. I've tried to use multiple brushes for like powdered blush. They just never hit the same. They don't, it's perfect. It's perfectly tapered. Everything about it is I love. And putting that on the apples of the cheeks, because again, this is the darkest shade of blush that we went into. And that in with the powder bronzer as well that we laid down. But do you see how the like blush like really presses into the skin, and then you can like take the tip and like sweep? I don't know, it's just, think of this as the ColourPop blush that we used, and kind to go build the shape of the cheek. So this way, don't take it out too far, and then kind of pressing that under the under eye a little bit. You kind of see how it's going versus this side. Yeah, so all around that apple in a way, and then drawing that out. So this is my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Duo little palette thing. It broke because I was trying to depot it low-key, but this blush is very like cool tone pinky. It's perfect for what we're finna do. Take your brush and like sweep off any excess product that you have. The shadow switch sponge would be perfect, but I don't want to use that. And I'm going to go in with it, dust off any extra, and start sweeping that bake. Yeah, we're getting in there and sweeping it off. You want an ombre blush or not? I don't care if you're scared. You're not here to be scared. You're here to have a crush on me. And I'm telling you how to do it step by step. And that starts with sweeping off your bake with your blush to create a flawless, seamless under eye such as this. Now, this might not be able to work for you, this specific blush, because I'm like on the darker range of skin tone. So this might actually be a blush for you, but it's not for me. So sweep away. Okay, so technically we're done with blush, but technically we're not, because this is my secret of the lifetime. I have so many makeup secrets. I don't like to share them, but most of them have to do with discontinued products or products that are not sold anymore, so I don't really care. I'm gonna let y'all know. I don't know if ColourPop still has the Elsa Frozen 2 collaboration, but she eats down. I mean, yeah, she's one of my favorites for sure. Cuddle Close, the white shade. I'm gonna tell you why, but I need a little more blush, I think. Big fluffy brush. I'm going in. I'm dipping it in. I'm taking this, you see it. I'm swirling it on the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna swirl it on my cheek. And yeah. I'm like the makeup Nikocado avocado. Like, it's kind of insane. But do you see that? I'm gonna finish my eyes and we'll be back with the final tips and tricks for how to blush like a pro. If there's any tips that you need to write down so you can blush like a pro, it's going to be, remember your face shape. I have a round heart face shape. My apples are the most important part of my face. Pick the most important part of your cheek and emphasize that, and place your deepest blush shade on that area, because that is where you want the most fullness. That is going to give you the most blush, like flush kind of look that you want, and it's gonna make everything pop so much more. And to get that ombre effect, you're just gonna want to blend from there. So whatever the slope of your cheek is, you're gonna want to go higher and higher in color. So again, I place the deepest shade on my apples, and then the lightest shade kind of where my cheeks start to turn into the fullness, and then the lightest shade right under my eyes to get the ombre effect that we want and that we talk about and that is so highly coveted right now in the makeup community. How you place your cream blushes is also how important your powder blushes are going to lay down. If you have too much product, which is easy to do when you're going in with so many colors, it's gonna look muddy and it's gonna mix with your concealer, and your whole under eye is just gonna be like a full wall of pink. Okay, you really want to be careful with where you're placing it and how much you're placing it. And lastly, get you a good powder blush brush, because I've gone through many other blush brushes for powder blush I can go through, and that is the best one I found because it doesn't pack all the product in one place. It's not like very dense to where it's just like stuck. It's very like tapered and fluffy, so it's gonna like disperse the product in like this kind of way, and then you can use the tip of the brush to like sweep and stuff. It's very important because you don't want things to get muddy and things to get confused, because you're going in with so many different pigments and so many different products and colors that you would want a good blush brush that's going to mesh everything together, that's not going to make the blush stick in one place and just kind of like marry everything together without having to work too hard. I'm glad you guys stuck around for the final product, and if you want more tips on how I do my blush, let me know in the comments, and also follow me on TikTok because I have a whole bunch of blush tips on there. And if you need the link to anything, if you want the Dibs Desert Island Duo Stick, and if you want the powder blush brush that I use, I'll have everything linked below for you guys if you want to check it out. And this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Oh, and do I have you blushing?